Live from the virtual Nashville SuperSpeedway, it's Monday Night Lightning Round 3. I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of this third edition of Monday Night Lightning with his next-gen cars. Last week getting off to a bang with the all-star race at the iRacing SuperSpeedway. This time it's going to be just a little bit different. Cody Pennell leading us to the green flag in the 28 car, bringing us to the line. It's the first ARCS Cup race at Nashville SuperSpeedway, and it is green.
Green flag, green flag.
Thursday Night Thunder champion Tom Sears in that 19 car. Everyone's got something new to look at. This time he's got Arkansas's Donald Ray in the 5th position in the number 14 Ford Mustang, just ahead of the Jeff Gordon livery. Trey Kirk in the 6th position. So far, so good. Exercising social distancing out on the racetrack. Sam Roberts to the inside of Dustin Painter is for the 8th position. Now to the outside of the 37, that's Kenny Bellamy, who took a couple of spills in practice. Bellamy to the inside, trying to hang on to his top 10 spot, but Sam Roberts occupies that right now. In the 2nd position, Cody Roberts full of Jeremy. These three nose to tail with no room between the Trey Kirk. Trying to take a little bit of that gap. Top 5, John Huntington, just on the edge of this lead pack. Rio now to the inside of Roberts. This for 2nd place, 5 laps in so far. Look at this, Rio bouncing off that yellow line, having to check up. That car was washing up the track. Tom Sears washes up to avoid him as well. Rio makes it through, and now he's got Donald Ray right up his tailpipe. Balls fan 88 in the chat saying, love you too, buddy. Glad to have you here. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Fans, if you're just joining us, you haven't missed a thing. The first 6 laps of racing, rather exciting here. The top 3, top 4 swapping positions left and right. Tom Sears in the 19 washing high. Jeremy Brio will take 3rd once again. Donald Ray in the number 14 Ford with those red rims closing the gap to the top 3. Samuel Roberts, Dustin Painter swapping positions. John Honeybrink now on the outside. The 94 of Nick Pressey to the inside, coming down on Ken Bellamy. Bellamy going into the wall. Sinkowski trying to hang on to his race car. Amazing save from those two. That deserves a tip of the cap. Unbelievable save. Alex Sinkowski, Ken Bellamy coming together and I can't believe how difficult that must have been, but obviously there's a big gap now between the top 10 and the rest, but these two soldier on. A lot more nervous than they most likely were just a few seconds ago. Tom Withers in the number 6 Viagra Ford, now to the inside of Ken Bellamy's number 37 Camry. Withers now all over the back of Sinkowski's number 99 Auto Nation Mustang. Ken Bellamy and Sinkowski swapping spots. Dan Roberts in the 30 car sitting in 15th position. Justin R. Williams in the 9:01. Rounding out the top 16 drivers. Fight for the lead. Cody Pennell will fight for second, Jeremy Brio to the inside of Kobe Roberts into the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford. Brio running third, Sears fourth. Trey Kirk in the number 24 DuPont Chevrolet has made his way into the 5th position. 10 laps into this race. Talking points headed into this race. Jeremy Brio in the 74 car currently leading the standings. He's now going into the 2nd position to the inside of Kobe Roberts. These two back and forth for the spot. John Honeybrink off the mark, trying to catch back up. Jeremy Brio well on the mark to the inside of Kobe Roberts for second, and Trey Kirk getting a bit closer to the 19 of Tom Sears. Brio in the 74 car comes into this race with a 22-point gap over David Hawk, who's not present in the running order tonight. David Hawk not running, so he'll lose his 2nd place. Normally it would be to Seth Wansing, but the KC Masterpiece, Seth Wansing, not here for this 3rd round of Monday Night Lightning. Next down the line is Donald Ray, currently running 7th. Donald Ray right now finds himself 34 points behind the leader, Jeremy Brio, currently running 3rd. But the Arkansas native has been consistent with his top 10s so far in the first 2 races of the season. 1.5 seconds now the gap between Brio and Pennell. There we see we're looking at about 40 laps in this first stage, 80 laps in stage number 2, 150 laps in stage number 3. Ginger says it looks like fun. It is indeed fun watching these guys go around so close to each other on a relatively green racetrack. Cody Pennell seems to have this place figured out. He holds a 2-second lead over Kobe Roberts, but Roberts now trying desperately to hold off Jeremy Brio, and Trey Kirk joins the assault in the 24 car, and now the Nashville native in the flaming Coca-Cola Ford Mustang. Great looking livery from here. Ryan Pennell in the 12 car breaks the top 5, and the Nashville native close to a podium spot. Fantastic looking race car. I want to know if he painted that himself. They say the flames add another 5 to 20 horsepower, so hopefully they help him out. Great race car that he's driving there. Outside of Trey Kirk, now out of turn number 4. 15 laps complete, 16 underway. Drivers should be able to make it on fuel in this first stage, but it will require a bit of concentration. Drivers cannot be giving it everything they've got in these opening laps. Cody Pennell, interesting to ask if he's pushing it too hard, too fast. He's got a 3-second gap now over Jeremy Brio. Kobe Roberts getting shuffled out of the top 3 positions. Ryan Pennell, the Nashville native, now into 3rd, and with a great run to the inside of Kobe Roberts, looking for 2nd. Got 2nd, washes up the racetrack. Now here comes Trey Kirk in that 24. Trying to get a good run on the 12 car into turn number 3. Nick Pressey in the number 94 car now to the inside. He breaks the top 5 threshold. It is his first appearance in the top 5 today. He's moved up 10 spots since the green flag flew. Trey Kirk now on the tail end of the top 5. Kobe Roberts coming from the outside. John Honeybrink, he's recovered from falling to the fringes of the top 3. Back into 7. Tom Sears, possible issues on the number 19 Monster Camry. He sits 9th. right now, Thomas Withers closing the gap behind him. The Viagra Ford and the Ford Mustang of Donald Ray 10th and 11th by just 1/3 of a second. In the chat, she says, "Hey Rick, Mama Falls, always a pleasure to have you in here tonight." Eat the Gingers saying Pinnell is gone, and he is indeed. Cody Pinnell with a 4-second lead, and you can see so far he's got the best time with 29.97. Ryan Pinnell, his cousin, right behind him with a 30.01, and interestingly enough, Nicholas Pressey, who just a couple nights ago gets his first ever ARTS win in the 3rd position with a 29.88. Nick Pressey so far with the fastest time in this race. 21 laps currently underway. Driver should be able to go 45 to 50 laps on the tank. And to bring up the race facts one more time, there you can see this first stage ends at lap 40, the second stage ending at lap 80, stage number 3 ending at lap 150. NASCAR taking a 10-year hiatus, returning to the Nashville SuperSpeedway in June of 2001, breaking a 10-year stretch of a Nashville without NASCAR. Good to be back. Ryan Pinnell in the 12 running second. Nicholas Pressey running third. He's up 4 spots since the green flag flew. John Honeybrick now breaks the top 5 threshold. He makes it in his number 20 Navy Camry. Running just ahead of Jeremy Rio in the 6th position. There's Brio in the 6th spot, 29.94. He is one of the majority of drivers to break the 30-second mark. One driver who now gets into 3rd, Trey Kirk, yet to break that 30-second mark. And Trey Kirk now to the inside of Nick Pressey, clears the 94 for 3rd. And the DuPont Chevrolet getting closer to Ryan Pinnell for the 2nd position. Pinnell right now 4 3/4 seconds behind his cousin Cody, leading this race and sailing off into turn number 1. Kobe Roberts, who spent the majority of his first 25 laps in the top 3, sits just ahead of Samuel Roberts in the number 15 Wrangler Ford. Roberts on Roberts looking for the 7th position. Thomas Withers rolling in the number 6 Viagra Mustang, sitting 9th right now. Sam Roberts battling Kobe for the 8th spot. Tom Sears, who started into the top 5, on the verge of losing his top 10 spot. Donald Ray and Ken Bellamy sitting 11th and 12th, just a couple of tenths behind Tom Sears in the number 19. Possibly the 19 trying to save fuel to go the distance if he's been driving that car just a bit too hard. Ray and Bellamy side by side. The 37 Camry of Bellamy just rolling along the inside of the number 14 Ford of Donald Ray. That for the 11th spot. Painter, Roberts, Williams, Dustin Painter, Daniel Roberts, and Justin R. Williams rounding out the field. Al Simkowski went for a spill, and the number 99 AutoNation Ford all crushed up at the back. And you can see it's going to take a miracle, or at least a yellow flag, for Simkowski to get back to the front. He's on the verge of going a lap down. Cody Pinnell putting in a 31.37 that last time around. His cousin Ryan, 2/100ths faster with a 31.39. 35 is this secondary pack catching the lone wolf at the front of this field. There's the 28 of Cody by his lonesome. 5 seconds doesn't sound like a lot, but if you just take a look at this gap here, it is immense. (12, 94, 24, second, third, and fourth, respectively. Ryan Pennell, Nick Pressey, and Trey Kirk. John Honeybrink getting ever so closer to Trey Kirk, but interestingly enough, Jeremy Brio has come back to life in the number 74 Chevrolet to the inside of the U.S. Navy 20 Camry. Brio edges out Honeybrink for fifth, swapping spots across the line. 30 laps underway, 10 laps remain in stage number 1. Ryan Pennell now battling with Nick Pressey. Contact 94 into the 12. The 12 of Pennell hung up on the outside wall. We stay green with 30 laps complete and 10 to go in this first stage. Trey Kirk now in second. John Honeybrink in third. At the risk of missing another piece of action on the track, let's take a look and see what exactly happened between the 94 and the 12. They went 3 wide out of 4. Looks like the 94 just lost control of his race car. You can see he wiggled into the 12, potentially washing up with the 24 of Kirk behind him. And now it looks like the 12 of Pennell is coming down pit road. He's got extensive damage that's going to keep him out of stage 1 winning contention. Cody Pennell extends his lead to 5 seconds over the 24 of Trey Kirk. John Honeybrink in third. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, your top 3 with fewer than 8 laps to go in the first stage. At the front, Cody Pennell, his lead still 5 seconds strong with the 99 of Al Simkowski just ahead. Simkowski about to go 1 lap down with Trey Kirk in the 24 car, trying to close that gap a bit at a time. 4 3/4 seconds, and now sinking the gap between Pennell and Kirk. Now to the inside of Alex Simkowski. This to put Simkowski 1 lap down. John Honeybrink in third, losing the gap to Trey Kirk. Nick Pressey and Jeremy Brio in 4th and 5th, respectively, trying to overtake Honeybrink, coming to 5 laps to go in stage number 1. Of Brio getting just a touch closer. Samuel Roberts in the 15 car. Now in the 6th position. Tom Withers in 7th. Kobe Roberts starting to drop out of the top 10. Tom Sears works his way into 9th. Ken Bellamy in 10th. Coming to 4 laps to go in the stage. And that looks like the 12 of Ryan Pennell. Cody looking to put his cousin a lap down. And it's not a good start for Ryan Pennell, the hometown driver from Nashville, with the special Coca-Cola paint scheme with the flames on the side. Special car for a special hometown race. And so far, the Music City singing Ryan the Blues with 3 to go in this first stage. Al Simkowski in the 99, hoping that the 12 of Ryan Pennell can get away from the 28. Simkowski currently the only driver 1 lap down. If he can survive the end of stage number 1, he will get the free pass. If Ryan Pennell in the 12 can maintain his lead lap status. Coming to 2 to go. Trey Kirk 3.5 seconds now behind Ryan Pennell, Cody Pennell. There's the 24 of Trey Kirk out of 4. There's the 28 of Cody Pennell with 2 laps remaining in this opening stage. It's Cody Pennell's stage to lose, but for all intents and purposes, he can cruise around comfortably to the end. Fans at home are going to take a 60-second break at the end of stage 1 just to keep the pre-rolls off, but we will remain ad-free for 20 minutes after that. Don't go anywhere after the end of this first stage. Cody Pennell in the 28 car, cruising to the end of stage number 1 with a 3-second lead, 3.5-second lead over the 24 of Trey Kirk. Tom Sears running 10th right now with a hard-charging Daniel Roberts, but it looks like Sears will hang on. Bellamy in 9th, Kobe Roberts 8th, Thomas Withers sitting 7th. He's made up 10 spots since the green flag came out, and he will finish stage 1 in 7th. Sam Roberts 6th, Brio, who started in the front row, running 5th. John Honeybrink and Nick Pressey making up 7 and 11 spots, respectively, running 4th and 3rd. Trey Kirk in 2nd in the Rainbow Warrior Chevrolet, and in the number 28 Ford Mustang, your stage 1 winner, Cody Pennell. Fans, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 60 seconds. And subscribers, if you're still listening, you are a subscriber to Rick James TV because you have no ads. How cool is that? But seriously, thank you so much for your subscriptions. It's so much fun to do these races every single night that I do them. Whether it's 2 nights a week, whether it's 6 nights a week. Sometimes it gets tiring, but really it's just for the love of racing. And your subscriptions make this so much more fun to do. And it genuinely means a lot to know people want to subscribe to this channel. Thank you so very much. I really, really appreciate it, and I really hope you're enjoying the race. Stage number 1 in Monday Night Lightning ends with Cody Pennell top of the tree. So far, his best lap of a 29.97, one of the quickest ones on track. Now with the driver of the number 28, Cody Pennell. Rick James in the booth. You got me, bud?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Cody, that stage number 1 was dominance that we've never seen before at the Nashville SuperSpeedway, let alone this entire season in Monday Night Lightning. Surely you've got to have the car to beat.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. Clean air is a big part of it, so it's going to be about staying out front, and if you get shuffled back, just being patient and trying not to burn your tires up and saving a little something. So, yeah, I'd like to think so.
Now, coming around this 3rd turn, you've got a hot rod there, your cousin Ryan, running into some trouble. You could say that he has a lot of work to do, but who's your biggest or toughest competition out on the track right now?
Man, the way that Nick Pressey came up through the field there, I'm keeping an eye on him, and Trey Kirk also. He's hardly had any practice here, and he's already fast, so I'll be keeping my eye on both of those guys. And also Jonathan Honeybrink in the 20 car. He's got something, I think, on the long run.
What's it going to take to stay in the front? Is it just a single lane track tonight?
Yeah, I believe it is, Rick. Just hugging that yellow line on the bottom and hoping the guy behind you is patient enough not to dump you.
And the most important question that all the fans are dying to know, Cody Pennell, what is your favorite chicken restaurant?
Favorite chicken restaurant? Oh, I gotta go with Chick-fil-A on that one.
Chick-fil-A. Now, is it about the sauce? Is it about the chicken? What do we love about Chick-fil-A?
It's definitely the chicken. The chicken itself is the best of anywhere around that you can get, as far as fast food is concerned.
I hear you, buddy. Chick-fil-A, some good stuff, man. Enjoy the rest of the show. Have good luck.
All right, appreciate it, man.
Tried to say have a good day and good luck at the same time. You heard how that came out. So Cody Pennell, Trey Kirk, and Nick Pressey are top three. Ford, Chevy, Ford. The 12 of Ryan Pennell just ahead in the Coca-Cola livery, waiting to get his pass back around. This second stage of the race will end at lap 80, so it will be slightly shorter than stage number 1. The 28 of Cody Pennell trying to go 2 for 2 in this stage. Coming into this race, while Jeremy Brio continues to lead the points, Cody Pennell trying to climb the ladder once more, get just a little bit closer. Cody finds himself 15th in points right now, 69 digits behind Jeremy Brio. Cody definitely could use these points. He needs a great race to claw that gap back, and he's doing a fantastic job so far. Jeremy Brio in the 74 car winning the first round this season at Charlotte. And then in Sonoma, Brio went 2 for 2. Will it be a hat trick to start the season? Jeremy Brio sitting 12th right now. Cody Pennell bringing us back to the green to kick off stage number 2. Waiting for the pace car to peel off as it just does, and waiting for the signal to kick off the second period of racing. Green flag is out and we're racing in Nashville. First lap complete without incident at the Nashville SuperSpeedway. Cody Pennell still in the front. Tom Sears gains a couple spots in the interval there. Justin Williams and Ken Bellamy trading spots, but the 10th place 01 Chevrolet of Justin Williams making his debut into the top 10 for the first time today. Ken Bellamy, Dan Roberts running 11th and 12th. Al Simkowski got his car repaired in the number 99 AutoNation Ford. You can see the big pancake on the side of that race car. Sitting 14th right now. Ryan Pennell right behind him in the 15th position. Pennell in the 12 car. He's got some repairs of his own. He got as far high as second place in that first stage. Now he runs in the 15th position. Dustin Painter bringing up the rear. The North Carolinian in the 49 car spent time in the top 10. We hope to see him back. Cody Pennell already breaking out to a lead of 3/4 of a second over Nick Pressey and Trey Kirk, sitting second and third respectively on the racetrack. Samuel Roberts in the Wrangler Ford in the 4th position, chasing down the number 24 of Trey Kirk. Donald Ray, the number 14 Ford Mustang, sandwiched between John Honeybrink and Kobe Roberts, running 5th and 7th in the Navy and Pennzoil Camry and Mustang. Tom Sears in 8th. Jeremy Brio in that 74 car won the first 2 races, and he's chasing down the Season 1 Thursday Night Thunder champion Justin Williams, still rolling 10th, but interestingly enough, holding his own with Jeremy Brio. There's only 0.3 of a second between them. Ken Bellamy in the 37 now clouding and covering up all view Justin Williams has out of the rearview mirror. The 01 trying to hold off a hard challenge from that 37 of Ken Bellamy. Kobe Roberts getting around Donald Ray, but not for long. The 22 finding it difficult to make the race car stick on the inside line. Gets around Ray for fifth. Hasn't cleared him yet. 52 laps into this race. Drivers should be good to go on fuel through the end of stage number 2. We'll see if they choose to do so. Stage number 3 will require a green flag pit stop to make it to the end. Kenny Bellamy now to the inside of Daniel Roberts, but it looks like there's a plug here. The 14 of Donald Ray, the 22 of Kobe Roberts starting to stack up some of the traffic 53 laps into this race. The 74 of Jeremy Brio now cracks the top 10. Looking to go to the inside of Sears and Honeybrink for 8th and 7th, respectively. At the front of this race, either Cody Pennell is driving a bit more conservatively or Nick Pressey in the 94 knows something. Cody Pennell was saying that the 94 has something special, and here he is up 12 positions since the start of this race. Ford, Chevrolet, Ford, your top 4 positions. And look at this, 2x2, several rows deep, and now 3 wide for position with Honeybrink, Bellamy, and Roberts down the back. Chevy, Toyota, Ford, low, middle, high. You can see the 37 sustaining a little bit of damage. Brio struggling to break this wad of cars. As Repeat would say, the storm is brewing. Nick Pressey getting closer to the 28 of Cody Pennell. What does the Brooklyn driver have for the Georgian? Gap now 0.3 of a second. Perhaps Cody Pennell trying to save as much fuel as possible, or perhaps he is getting Nick Pressey to burn all the good fresh rubber he's got on those Goodyear Eagles. Good to see NASCAR back at Nashville SuperSpeedway. Good to see a race here at Nashville SuperSpeedway. I remember when the Indy cars came here and they lit this concrete racetrack. It was insane. Watching those high speeds, and you get the same sense of excitement watching these race cars fly around here. Speeds topping out over 170 miles an hour going into that first corner, which is impressive for a racetrack that's the same length as Darlington, 1.33 miles, the distance for this tri-oval, based just outside in Lebanon. Well, Nick Pressey's there. That last time around, Nick Pressey with a 28.89, his fastest time, and he's running quicker than Cody Pennell. Up ahead is Pressey on the verge of something huge. Pennell has led every single lap so far. Just 1/3 of a second is the gap between himself and Pressey. Trey Kirk sitting 3rd, his best time of 30 seconds even. The only driver in the top 10 with a best lap time of 30 seconds or slower, Trey Kirk. Impressive that he's still holding 3rd. The consistency is what that says about the driver of the 24 DuPont Chevrolet. The fact that he's the only driver to not have a best lap time in 30 seconds, within the 30-second range, still holding on to a bronze medal spot. an absolute consistent performance. 61 laps into this race. There's the time delta. The last 6 laps, Pinnell just barely faster than Nick Pressey right behind him. We'll see what the delta says this time around. 28.94 across the line, and that time Pinnell still faster, but not by as much. Perhaps Pinnell having to use some of his tires to get just a little bit further away from the 94. Pressey slower by 12 one-hundredths of a second that last time around. Now Pressey quicker in the second half of the racetrack. 63 laps underway. Stage 2 ends at lap 80. They're going to come to 17 laps to go this time by in the first half of the racetrack. Cody Pinnell faster by 14 one-thousandths of a second. In the second half, Nick Pressey exiting high out of turn number 4. He's got a good run on the 28 of Pinnell across the line. Pressey slower that time. Perhaps Pinnell is starting to claw that gap back. That Pressey took away. In the 7th position, Tom Sears now to the outside of Ken Bellamy. He loses 7th and moves down to 8th. Honeybrink now gets 7th spot. Thomas Withers in the top 10. Daniel Roberts in the 30 car, now sitting 10th. Jeremy Brio, who was absolutely blisteringly quick in the first stage outside the top 10, running 11th. And Brio, who's going for his 3rd consecutive win, could use a little bit of help or possibly some adjustments to that 74 car. His hat trick is looking more and more unlikely as the laps tick away, and Cody Pinnell is indeed increasing the gap. What was 0.3 of a second, what it was half a second, but now Pressey starting to get just a little bit back now. Perhaps Nick Pressey trying to conserve at the end of stage 2. Donald Ray running lucky number 13th right now in the number 14 car. Ray comes into this race 4th in points, 34 markers behind Jeremy Brio. Donald Ray with an average finish of 4th this season. No wins, obviously, with the 74 of Jeremy Brio taking all the wins so far, but Ray running consistent, an average finish of 4th so far, keeping him 4th in the point standings. Pressey still 1/3 of a second back. Trey Kirk in the 24 car, running in the 3rd spot with Sam Roberts right behind him, and this a fight for 3rd. Roberts in the number 15 Wrangler Ford. He's been all over the back of that number 24 DuPont Chevrolet. Will Roberts be able to pull the move off before the end of the stage? It's going to be 12 laps to go next time by in stage 2. Kobe Roberts holding on to 5th quite bravely despite a tough challenge from John Honeybrink. Jeremy Brio, while he was fighting for that spot as well. Kobe Roberts in that special yellow, black, and red shell livery. Honeybrink behind him in the 20. He's got a mirror full of Ken Bellamy. Bellamy trying to claw his way back up. Bellamy 12th in points. 52 markers back of Jeremy Brio with 100 points in this field. Getting around John Honeybrink, and a couple of cars have gone around. The 22 of Kobe Roberts finding some trouble. He's gone around, spinning through this field. Kobe Roberts, and, oh, my bad there. Didn't mean to bring that part up. And there I go again, messing it up. Kobe Roberts goes around. Now we're on the 0-1. Let's see if we stay green, but there's the 22 now with damage. Gotta run this one back before I completely screwed up the entire visuals. We'll see exactly what happened to the 22 car coming out of a 2. Looks like maybe a little bit of contact with the 20 of John Honeybrink. Yeah, the 20 car indeed washes up, gets into the 22. Kobe trying to save it, slams, grinds along the wall. Tom Sears nearly missing him, and Roberts regaining control of his hot rod. 9 laps to go in the second stage. We stay green. Pinnell and Pressey still your top 2, with Trey Kirk a distant 3 seconds behind in position number 3. Sam Roberts still all over his rearview mirror, possibly trying to force a mistake or maybe just save his stuff for the end of the stage. Honeybrink regaining control of his car, but that's Tom Withers who goes high. Now the 30 of Sam Roberts, Daniel Roberts, excuse me, to the inside of the number 6 Ford. Around the 3rd corner, Thomas Withers, you saw he got incredibly loose out of turn number 2. The tires must be giving out on that Viagra Mustang. If he can hang on for another 7 laps, he'll score another top 10 finishing position in a stage. Does Nick Pressey have anything left for Cody Pinnell in the number 28 car? Tom Sears running in the 9th position, just edging Jeremy Brio into 3. Brio says, I'll take that back, thank you very much. The number 74 car trying to get his groove back. 75 laps into this race, will reach halfway next time by, and stage 2 ends at lap 80. Fans at home, we will take a 60-second break when the second stage ends, just to keep the pre-rolls off. We will be ad-free for another 20 minutes after that. The points leader Brio running 9th right now, with Tom Sears close behind him. 5 laps to go in this stage, halfway through the race. And if you've recently joined us, I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of this 3rd round of Monday Night Lightning from the virtual Nashville SuperSpeedway. This is the battle for the lead. Nick Pressey behind the 28 of Cody Pinnell. These two 3 seconds ahead of any nearby competition. There's second place Nick Pressey. There's the 24 of Trey Kirk running in 3rd. There's Samuel Roberts and Ken Bellamy battling for the 4th, Ken Bellamy and John Honeybrink battling for the 5th position. A couple of Toyota Camrys side by side. Daniel Roberts in the 30 car. He's got a mirror full of Thomas Withers, and then a 2 1/3 second gap back to the points leader, Jeremy Brio, in the 74 car. Just ahead of Tom Sears and Dustin Painter, who is on the verge of getting back inside the top 10. It'd be good to see the North Carolinian score a top 10 this season. Dustin Painter comes into this race 21st in points. Stephen Downton just behind him, 22nd in points. Downton currently running 14th. I'm sorry, not Stephen Downton, excuse me. Alex Simkowski's running 14th. Don't know why I called him Stephen Downton just then. Donald Ray, the only driver behind him, in 15th. And then you've got the 22 of Kobe Roberts, who's gone a lap down. However, with 2 coming to 1 lap to go in the stage, if Kobe Roberts maintains his status as the first car 1 lap down, he will get the free pass headed into stage number 3. Dirty Bird 33 says, sounding good, Rick. Bird, glad to have you in here, pal. Thank you so very, very much. What's up, man? How are you? Last lap in the second stage. Nick Pressey getting closer and trying to get all over the back end of the 28 of Cody Pennell. One last charge out of turn number 4, side by side to the line. Cody Pennell will hang on to win stage number 2. Nick Pressey second, Trey Kirk third. And there is the end of stage number 2. Fans at home, we're going to take a 60-second break, and we'll be back for the start of the final period of racing. While we're under this caution period, let's see if we can get a word with the driver of the number 24 DuPont Chevrolet, Trey Kirk. He finished third in that second stage, and I believe he managed to come home second in stage number 1. Trey Kirk, Rick James in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Trey, buddy, obviously the car, fantastic. Third in that second stage, also fantastic. But that 28 and that 94 really have something special. What's it going to take to see the DuPont Chevrolet fighting for the lead?
I think I'm just going to have to hit my marks on the green flag pit stops with the stay green. That's the only way I'll be able to beat them. They're checking out on me. And I'm not really saving, just pushing as hard as I can. They're still out there.
Where's the difficulty? Where are Cody Pennell and Nick Pressey just breaking away? Is it all about line at Nashville, or does it help to have a drafting partner?
I mean, I think Cody just got this place figured out a lot better than I do. I'm a lot tighter coming off of both 2 and 4, so if he can get that car pointed, he'll check out on me a lot. He gets a lot better run off the corner than I do if he can get it pointed.
Never say never, Trey. It's not over until it's over. Nothing is impossible in racing, my friend. And the most important question anyone's going to ask you tonight, Trey Kirk, what is your favorite chicken restaurant?
Chicken restaurant?
What is your favorite chicken restaurant, Trey Kirk?
Chick-fil-A.
You know, 2 for 2 on Chick-fil-A. Cody Pennell said the same thing. So hopefully there's some celebration Chick-fil-A waiting for you at the end. Best of luck, Trey.
Thank you.
Don't have Chick-fil-A this far north. Would have to say Popeyes. Popeyes is pretty good. KFC. I have had Chick-fil-A. Bojangles is up there as well. Dirty Bird says everything is good, relaxing and listening to one of the best, and he's also talking about these paint schemes. Let's talk about these paint schemes. Cody Pennell actually has a modified that looks identical to this right here. Great look on that number 28. Then you've got Trey Kirk. No explanation needed, no introduction needed. One of the best paint schemes ever. Nick Pressey with his own team's paint scheme there. Samuel Roberts in this excellent Wrangler paint scheme. Almost looks like one of the Falcon Drift cars. But just an awesome, fun paint scheme. A little bit of Dale Earnhardt vibes with the blue back end there. Gotta love a tribute there. John Honeybrink in, I believe, the U.S. Navy or the U.S. Armed Forces. I'm not sure. And Armed Forces Camry. Sam Roberts in a custom paint scheme here. Jeremy Brio, I love seeing just the fantastic explosion of color week after week. He's won the first 2 races, all in different paint schemes. He might well do the same in this 3rd race of the season. Tom Sears, a bit of a Martin Truex Jr. homage in this number 19 Monster Energy Camry. Thomas Withers, a little bit of a Mark Martin throwback in the number 6 Viagra Ford. Dustin Painter, the North Carolinian, in his own number Al Sinkowski rocking the Elio Castroneves colors, the number 99 Auto Nation Ford. Donald Ray, a big Ford fan. It's going to be a Ford lockout of that 6th row with Ray and Sinkowski side-by-side Mustangs. Custom paint scheme here for Justin Williams. Ryan Pennell with his awesome Coca-Cola paint scheme with flames going down the side. Hopefully he's got his issues worked out because it'd be great to see that back towards the front. Ken Bellamy in his custom number 37, and then Kobe Roberts in 16th. He's rocking that Shell Pennzoil paint scheme, almost reminiscent to one of Tony Stewart's earlier paint schemes, if you will. '85 laps underway. We're about to get these cars racing one more time, the 28, the 24, locking out row number 1. Once again for the start of stage number 3. Waiting for these cars to come out of pit road. Pace car peels off. Cody Pennell leading them down one more time. Stage number 3 is underway at Nashville. Out of the 4th corner, Cody Pennell starting. Nick Pressey in car number 94. Trey Kirk, 15 of Roberts, right to his inside. Kirk leaving the window open. Jeremy Brio sitting in 5th after restarting outside the top 5. It looks like Jeremy Brio is coming back to life. Indeed, after he showed some speed at the end of stage number 2. Dan Roberts in the 30 car, running 6th with Thomas Withers behind him. And 3rd caution is out. Ken Bellamy's had a crash. There's the 37 spinning out of turn number 3. Let's back this up and take a look what happened to the 37 Camry. There had to be contact. Him and the 22 of Kobe Roberts getting into Ken Bellamy. Let's get a close look here and see what happened. 22 descended. Possibly thought he was clear and crunch right into the wall. The 22 and the 37 are going to need repairs. And we're under caution for the 3rd time tonight, albeit the first 2 were stage breaks. So that's the first wreck of the evening. Cody Pennell leading, Nick Pressey in 2nd, Trey Kirk running 3rd. Samuel Roberts in the number 15 car running 4th, and then the current points leader, Jeremy Brio, running in the 5th position. Let's see if we can get a word with our points leader, Jeremy Brio. Rick James in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Jeremy, you've won the first 2 races this season. You kind of fell back at the end of stage number 2, but you're back in the top 5 and in contention for taking the lead. Will it be a hat trick for the 74 car?
I mean, if I can get a whole new setup, yes, it'll be a hat trick. But I just haven't grasped the track. I mean, I guess I haven't practiced enough. But Pressey and Cody are pretty impressive right now.
What's it going to take to get up to the 24 of Trey Kirk? Is drafting necessary at such a fast, wide racetrack?
If you can get a good enough run off of the corner, draft is definitely going to help, but it's not as effective as if we were at 1.5 miles or bigger. It's just because of these small spoilers, we can't really get that much of a draft off of anybody.
And before we let you get back to work here, Jeremy, coming into this, well, two more questions. Coming into this race, does the points lead at all affect your driving and how you think about where you make a move? You do have a 22-point lead over David Hawk and Seth Wansing, who are not here. Donald Ray is 34 points behind you, fourth in the standings, and he's currently running 14th. Is there still the pressure to deliver a third win?
No. The only thing I can do every week is just do the best I can do. I kind of figured it. I wasn't going to win every race this season, so I mean, as long as I can get out of this with a top 5, maybe a lower end top 10, I think I'd be happy with it. I'm not worried about points or anything until probably like 2 or 3 races to go.
And the most important question of the evening, Jeremy Brio, what is your favorite chicken restaurant?
Ooh, gonna have to go Zaxby's here.
Zaxby's, all right. So 2 for Chick-fil-A, 1 for Zaxby's. I haven't had Zaxby's yet. I've had a lot of Southern joints, but not Zaxby's. So next time I go down there, I'll have to take your word for it. But hopefully you earn yourself some Zaxby's chicken tonight, my friend. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Brio in the number 74 car, looking like he might stay out. Plenty of drivers taking this opportunity to come down pit road. We are still at free for another 10 and a half minutes, more than a Kate. Saying, what's up, Rick? What is up, Kate? Glad to have you here, pal. Thank you so much for being a part of this. And thank you, everybody who's currently watching, everybody who's joined, all the subscribers that make it possible to do this every single week. It's so much fun to talk to you guys. Kate, how is everything? Folks, if you don't know, Kate is the head of, I don't know what his position is there, I'll be honest, but Kate, exactly as his gamer tag or his handle there says, morethanAcape.org is a wonderful organization helping kids and their families who have been affected by cancer. MorethanAcape.org is where you can go to find out more, find out TJ's story, and we'll be involved with them later this year. Possibly for the Cluck Clash this weekend. That's going to be fun. More about that. SS Motorsport says, Ricky James, what's up? It's Shadillac. My man, Shad, I remember this guy from NNR. What's going on, bud? Glad to have you here as well. Sit back, enjoy this one. We're about to kick off stage number 3. With fewer than 60 laps remaining, Cody Pennell winning stage 1 and stage 2. He's going to lead us back to the line. It's a Ford lockout of row number 1 with Nick Pressey, who is outside, waiting for the flag, and we're racing again in Nashville. The 94 of Nick Pressey holding tough to the back end of Cody Pennell. Pennell leading every single lap in stage number 1 and 2. It has been just dominance after dominance for this driver, but not the points results that Cody has been hoping for. He comes into this race well behind. Cody as far back as 15th in points, 69 digits behind Jeremy Brio in the 74 car. Brio running 5th right now, so a win would be marvelous for Cody Pennell. Nick Pressey in the number 94 car could use a good points day for himself. He's in the top 10. Not a bad start to the season, but an average finish of 12th in the first 2 races. Pressey could do with a little better results to get him where this current race is reflecting. Pressey all over the back end of Pinnell, looking high for the lead, now looking low, but Trey Kirk right behind him. Two Fords and a Chevrolet in the podium positions. Samuel Roberts and Jeremy Brio, 4th and 5th respectively. And look who's come back into the top 10 on the verge of the top 5 after getting some repairs done. Al Simkowski in the AutoNation Ford making his way back up through this field. Simkowski last pitting on lap 82. He is one of 4 cars that did not pit. The 4 cars that pitted on that most recent caution. The 20 of John Honeybrink, the 37 of Kenny Bellamy, the 49 of Dustin Painter, and the 14 of Donald Ray. Drivers won't have more than 45 laps of fuel on a run. About 50 if they can manage to save, but it is indeed a tall order as Nick Pressey now goes to the inside of Cody Pinnell. This is for the lead, but the 28 of Pinnell has a fantastic run out of 2. Trey Kirk running high in the number 24 car. He's got the 15 of Samuel Roberts behind him, but battling with Roberts is the 74 of Jeremy Brio. He's now made his way into the top 5. Brio trying to make his way into the top 3. 50 laps to go next time by. Fans will still be ad-free for the next 5 minutes or until the next caution. So 5+ minutes, if you will. Cody Pinnell leading this one. And now a side-by-side battle for second. Trey Kirk in the number 24 Chevy, battling with the number 94 Ford. They get so close to each other. The 74 of Brio watching just from behind where all this action is happening. Simkowski kicked back to 9th, now 10th. John Honeybrink to his inside, who wants a shot at that top 10. Simkowski now to the outside of Justin Williams for the 9th spot. Now in the last third of this race with 49 laps to go. Cody Pinnell in the 28 car. Just ahead of Nick Pressey in car 94. Jeremy Brio just to the outside of Nick Pressey. Brio now making contact with the 15 of Sam Roberts, headed up the hill. The 74 of Brio taking a knock. He's going to land just in front of Ryan Pinnell in car number 12. 103 laps underway, and Brio, who diligently made his way back through the field, will have to claw all that time back. Dan Roberts now behind the 74 with the Nashville native Ryan Pinnell to the inside of car number 30. This battle for 7th. Cars have relatively slowed down since the beginning of this race. Trey Kirk in the 24 washing extremely high up the concrete racetrack. Jeremy Brio now fills in the spot. Thomas Withers in the number 6 Viagra Ford to the inside of the DuPont Chevrolet. Withers to the inside. He's got 4th, and Withers has moved up 13 positions since the start of this race. Sensational drive for Thomas Withers, and he's looking to keep this up. Withers not currently in the top 25 in points, but it'd be great to see him get some more consistent runs. Pinnell leading out of turn number 4, and I've done the thing again. Goodness me. How many times am I going to make that mistake? All right. No harm, no foul. Pinnell still ahead by a couple of tenths of a second. 106 is the number underway. We're trying to get to 150. Nick Pressey, 12 spots since the race started that he's increased his position 12 spots since the race started. Samuel Roberts in the 3rd position with Trey Kirk and Thomas Withers running side by side. And look at this, Justin Williams in the 01 the middle of this 5-car, now 6-car gaggle with the 37 of Ken Bellamy filling up the back. Now 2x2, Thomas Sears in the 19. And the yellow car that you just saw coming out of pit road was the 22 of Kobe Roberts. And look at this, there's a wreck, big wreck up here. 24 of Trey Kirk's gone around. Cars flying everywhere. Yellow flag is going to come out, and we got right there just in time, just as the 24 broke loose, and you can see he's now missing the front end. What on earth happened here? Running side by side with the 6 of Thomas Withers, and these two got together, headed into 3. Let's see if we can get a closer look. Oh, and it starts with the 28 and the 15. Cody Pennell, your stage 1 and stage 2 winner, making contact with the 15. And you can see the 28 just goes low. Not sure if he was trying to recover that race car. Let's get a cockpit view with the 28 of Cody Pennell and see just exactly what happened with those hands in that race car. Looks like Cody Pennell drifting just left into the 15 car. I'm not sure if he saw the 15 there or not. One more time, take a look at just the subtle drift coming out of 2. There's the flick. He gets into the 15 and the 15 of Sam Roberts going for a ride into the wall. There you see the 6 and the 24 getting involved, unfortunately, at the end. Let's take a look at the hands of the 15, see how he tried to recover this race car. Looks to me rock steady out of 2. Trying to steady it a little bit as the 28 was trying to steady his race car. Bit of a flick from both sides, but now multiple drivers coming down pit road. Everyone taking advantage. Cody Pennell, for the first time today, will not lead a lap. With 42 laps to go, Nicholas Pressey in first place. Cody Pennell in second, Daniel Roberts in third. Every single driver coming down pit road, everybody save for Kobe Roberts. Undoubtedly trying to gain some track position. But that puts Brooklyn's Nick Pressey to the top of the running order, the number 94 car in the lead. We'll try and get a word with Nick Pressey here. Fans at home, we are currently experiencing pre-roll ads, so we're going to throw up another 60-second ad to go ad-free for another 20 minutes. We'll be back for the green flag and the restart of stage number 3. See if we can get a word with Brooklyn's Nick Pressey while he's leading this race. Nick Pressey, Rick James in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy. How's it going, Rick?
Nick, you're leading this race for the first time tonight, my friend. You're going to have fewer than 40 laps remaining. You've got Daniel Roberts right to your outside. You've got the 15 of Samuel Roberts behind you, a couple of Camrys. But of course, you've got to look out for the 28 of Cody Pennell, who's going to be back for his lead. Do you have what it takes to win?
Well, I know when Cody had the start and I was at the back, he was able to get away. Me and Cody have pretty much been on a different plane all race. Hopefully, I'll be able to emulate what he did in the first stage to close this one out.
It looks like a one-lane racetrack out there. Why is it so difficult to pass out here?
You're saying it's difficult to pass? I mean, until I got to Cody, I was having a pretty easy time. But it's really about how much knowledge the defender has on how to keep his spot. Like Cody, he knows all the ins and outs of keeping the spot, and that's why it took so much to get by him, and I wish it had gone any other way.
Looks like it's going to be one to go this time by, Nick. The most important question of the evening, my friend. What is your favorite chicken restaurant?
Favorite chicken restaurant? Man, I'd have to say Popeyes. I mean, my family loves Popeyes. I've been eating it for my whole life. Why not?
Popeyes. You know, Popeyes is my favorite as well, man. I'll join you on that one. So 2 for Chick-fil-A, 1 for Zaxby's, and 2 for Popeyes. Hopefully, you earn this win here at the end, Nick. Best of luck. We'll talk to you soon.
Right. Thank you.
Brooklyn's Nick Pressey leading this race in the number 94 car. Pressey comes into this race 10th in points. He's tied on points right now with Al Simkowski in the number 99 car, only 2 points ahead of Ken Bellamy in the 37. He finds himself 50 points behind the standings leader, Jeremy Brio, in car 74. Brio running 9th for the time being, but with one of the fastest hot rods out there. It'll be another Ford lockout of row number 1 with Nick Pressey and Dan Roberts on the front, getting ready to restart this race with 39 laps to go. Dan Roberts, Nick Pressey side by side, waiting for the signal. Green flag is out and we're racing again at Nashville. Big wreck at the back here. Driver just losing position. There's the 49 of Dustin Painter, who does go down into the grass, and the caution does come out. Not the big wreck I thought it was, but you just saw those positions switching incredibly fast. Let's have a look. 49 of Dustin Painter out of turn number 2. Looks like a couple other drivers may have been involved. And the 20 of John Honeybrink involved in that one, and it looks like Painter had no choice but to get into the 20. Let's roll this one back and see what exactly happened to Honeybrink in this Armed Forces Camry. The 19 of Tom Sears washing up the racetrack. Honeybrink, is he potentially just letting off the gas? Is there contact? There it is. That's all it took, and the 20 of Honeybrink goes for a quick ride. There's the 49 of Painter, who just barely got into the 20 of Honeybrink, and Honeybrink's going to go for a big slam on the inside wall. Airborne and end over end. Did not expect that. And almost certainly there is John Honeybrink down pit road getting his repairs. So the 5th caution of the evening, most of them coming here in stage number 3. There's the 22 of Kobe Roberts getting one of his laps back. Nick Pressey leading. Samuel Roberts sitting 2nd in the 15 car. His brother Daniel Roberts in the 30 car, sitting 3rd. Samuel Roberts comes into this race 19th in the points standings. His brother Daniel into this race 17th in the points standings. Both of these drivers right now carrying a 10-digit penalty in the points standings after coming together and manufacturing a caution in the first round of the race. And right now 10 points is the difference between 10th place in the standings and 16th place in the standings. So 10 points making a big difference. We'll see if either of these drivers feel that when it comes time to crown a champion at the end of the season. But so far, the Roberts brothers doing well, running 2nd and 3rd, respectively, in the 15 and 30 Ford. 4th in the points standings, 5th in the running order, Donald Ray in his number 14 Ford Mustang. Ken Bellamy back behind him, and Al Simkowski back in the top 10. Jeremy Brio said he would struggle to get back up to the front, but he's doing a decent job in the 8th position. Nashville's very own Ryan Pennell in the 9th spot. Justin Williams in position number 10. Let's see if we can bother Ryan Pennell for a little bit of his time. Ryan Pennell, Rick James in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Ryan, it's your home track here in Nashville. A very, very special homecoming. Growing up as a Titans fan when they came to town, and coming to Nashville when the Busch Series and the Truck Series came, but it's the first time that you got to see the Cup Series yesterday, and now you're living it. Welcome home. How's your race going so far?
Man, so far it's been a little crazy. We run up front there in the first stage, got into a little contact with Nick in the 94, and kind of been just clawing our way back ever since. So we're up here in ninth right now, just kind of waiting for some of this chaos I think that's probably about to happen. But we'll see how this 12 car does here at the end of the run.
A fantastic paint scheme that you've got there on that 12. We've been talking about it all night. Looks like you're about to go to work here, but the fans are dying to know, Ryan, what is your favorite chicken restaurant?
I gotta go Chick-fil-A, man. I'm from the South. That's what I'm going.
The 3 for Chick-fil-A, 2 for Popeyes, and 1 for Zaxby's. Interestingly, no KFC or Bojangles, but Chick-fil-A seems to be popular, man. Hopefully you get some celebration chicken at the end of the race. Good luck, Ryan.
Thanks, sir.
Big Titans fan, the Nashville native, running 10th in the number 12 Ford, and at the front of this race, Brooklyn's Nick Pressey. He'll have his second restart from the point, but this time with a different Roberts sibling to his outside, Sam Roberts in the 15 car. This is the highest he's been all race long, the number 15 Wrangler Ford on the outside of row 1, waiting for the signal to get the race going once again. Out of turn 4, green flags in the air, waiting for the signal, and the cars are moving. Green flag is out again in Nashville. Out to an impressive lead, restarting this race of 118 laps underway. Drivers now should have enough fuel to go the distance. Possibly some conservation by a couple of drivers, but it will be the tires that mean more than anything to these drivers. 32 laps to go in this third round of Monday Night Lightning. Daniel Roberts and Samuel Roberts, second and third consecutively. Donald Ray running fourth with the number 24 DuPont Chevy of Trey Kirk in fifth. The IndyCar specialist, Al Simkowski, in the sixth position. Good run for him so far. The points leader, Brio, seventh. Kenny Bellamy, he's on an island by himself, running eighth. Justin Williams at side by side with Ryan Pennell. And the stage 1 and stage 2 winner, Cody Pennell in car 28. Just outside the top 10, making contact with his cousin in the 12. Washing high up the racetrack, he'll settle back into 11th. 30 laps to go, this time by the Roberts brothers side by side and swapping spots in second and third. Thomas Withers down to 12th. Now 11th, excuse me. Thomas Withers 11th, battling Cody Pennell for the 11th spot. Dustin Painter running 13th, and Southern Massachusetts, Tom Sears in the 14th spot. John Honeybrink back out on the racetrack after that huge wreck in the infield. He's right behind Kobe Roberts. Nick Pressey starting to run away with this one, but is it too hard, too fast? Will the tires give out? A fantastic run so far. He's half a second away from Dan Roberts behind him, and Dan Roberts, he's a half a second ahead of his brother Sam Roberts in the number 15 Wrangler Mustang. Trey Kirk and Al Simkowski close to each other, but look at Ken Bellamy now bursting into the 7th position. To the inside of the 74, Brio, the points leader, gets into the wall. You can see Pennell in the 12 having to dive low to avoid the incoming 74 of Jeremy Brio. Brio now on the very edge of the top 10. Brio now chasing down Ryan Pinnell in that 12 car. Trey Kirk to the inside of Donald Ray. Simkowski's going around in 2. Slam into the turn 2 wall. Huge wreck out of turn number 2 with 26 laps to go. It looks like the 19 of Tom Sears involved in that accident. We've got to see what happened here. Run this one back. Al Simkowski with the 37 of Ken Bellamy up his inside. This is for the 5th position. What on earth happened here? Simkowski coming down on the 37. Bellamy looks like he was going straight on. Bellamy getting involved in this one. Ryan Pinnell with nowhere to go. You can see Simkowski tries to save it and bang, head on into the wall. The second accident that Simkowski's been involved in. Let's run this back one more time. Run this from the cockpit of the 37, Kenny Bellamy. You can see Bellamy's going to turn left here, but he just doesn't turn left fast enough. There's Bellamy intending the turn, and Simkowski coming down on him. By the time Bellamy realizes it, it's just a bit too late, and there goes the AutoNation Ford. Bellamy coming down pit road for his repair. Caution number 6 out on the racetrack. No worries about ads. We are ad-free for the next 7 minutes, 22 seconds. With Nick Pressey coming down pit road, that means your new leader is Daniel Roberts, with Samuel Roberts well behind him. All but 4 drivers coming down for tires and potentially just enough fuel in case we go to overtime. Trey Kirk in the 3rd position. Seems like he's been 3rd all day. Cody Pinnell in the 4th spot. Cody Pinnell, one of the drivers that did not pit. So now these tires, 13 laps older than those of their rivals behind him who are now leaving pit road. Nick Pressey, one of those first drivers to come down pit road, he's got fresh rubber for the final 23 or so laps of this race. Donald Ray right behind him, and look who else has fresh tires. 3rd in the line of pit road takers, Jeremy Brio. So now Daniel Roberts and Samuel Roberts, they will be the Ford lockout of row number 1 when we restart this race. The Roberts brothers, Trey Kirk and Cody Pinnell, all not taking tires on this most recent pit stop, and they'll have 13 laps more wear than those of the drivers behind them. Drivers to the inside, potentially saving fuel or making way for cars that are getting their lap back. Donald Ray in the number 14 Ford Mustang, the Arkansas pilot. Let's see if we can bother him for his opinion on the race and his favorite chicken restaurant. Donald Ray, Rick James in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, buddy.
Donald Ray looking good in the simple number 14 Ford. You've been in contention all night long. Is it a race-winning hot rod?
I don't think so. Not tonight. We're going to need a little luck. It's a little slow tonight. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just going to try and stay smooth here and save that right front. And hopefully we'll have something for him there at the end. I know me and Pressey, I think, are the first ones on fresh tires, so we'll see if we can make it work.
The top 4 did not pit. You and Pressey are indeed the first 2 on fresh tires. It looks like a difficult race to pass, but more importantly, Don, the fans have to know what is your favorite chicken restaurant.
Man, I'm going to have to go with Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, that's 4 tonight for Chick-fil-A. Hopefully you earn yourself some of that celebration chicken, Don. Best of luck.
All right, bud, thanks. As
they mentioned, these are the top 2 drivers on fresh tires, the top 4 without. So now the question has to be, do these drivers with fresh rubber press the issue? they really just squeeze these top 4 leaders, force them to burn up their already to do it themselves. It will be 22 laps to go when we take the green flag. Out of the 4th corner, green flag is out, and we're racing again. 22 to go. And that looks like it's around in turn number 1. It is indeed the 94 on fresh tires. Exactly what he didn't need to happen happened. Cautions breed cautions, and these cars are some rabbits out on the racetrack. The 94 of Nick Pressey looks like the 74 of Jeremy Brio. No, the 74 missed the 94, and the 22 of Kobe Roberts just T-bones Nick Pressey, and that looked like Justin Williams, who had a Days of Thunder moment, just missing his way through that. Let's get one more slow motion look here. Nothing the 14 could do. Take a look at the hands of Nick Pressey. You bet he was probably busy in here trying to save this race car in real time. 24 of Donald Ray just getting into the 94 of Nick Pressey. Let's run this one back here. Donald Ray coming down left on fresh tires as well, and possibly these tires just not warming up. And then the 94 of Pressey just washes up while Ray comes down. Ray's okay, and Nicholas Pressey, Brooklyn's Nicholas Pressey, looks like he's down pit road getting all the repairs that he can right now. He's out. Pressey out, still hasn't used a fast repair. And Nick Pressey being scored out of this race. He'd be the first DNF if he can't get it going again. It'd be a shame. Hopefully he elects to use one of those fast repairs and we see him back in the race. 20 laps now remain. Fans at home, we are about to go back to pre-roll ads. Atlanta Racing rating with a party of 12. That must be the guys from PSES that just ended their race. So if you're just tuning in from Atlanta Racing, welcome to Monday Night Lightning. We were just going to take a 60-second break, but never mind. Let's actually have a word with another one of our drivers here. Trey Kirk sitting 3rd, Jeremy Brio in the 5th position, Thomas Withers in the number 6 Viagra Ford sitting 6th, North Carolina's Dustin Painter in 7th. We just had a word with Donald Ray in the 8th spot. Donald Ray coming down pit road for his adjustments. No, staying out. Ryan Pinnell, the Nashville native, you can see he's missing the hood on his hot rod, so he'll be coming down pit road for repairs. The Roberts brothers at the front of this race. Looks like we'll probably have one to go next time by. Let's see if we can get a word with our Stage 1 and Stage 2 winner, Cody Pinnell. Cody Pinnell, Rick James once again. You got me, bud?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Cody, you have clawed your way back into this top 5. You are one of 4 drivers with 13 lap older tires than everyone else behind you. Can you hang on to your top 4 spot with such old Goodyear Eagles?
Oh, man, Rick, I don't know. It's going to be tough here. This track is not kind to you on older tires. And I know Jeremy, he's going to be really fast. So, you know, I think this is going to be about trying to salvage the best position as I can.
Now, coming into this race, you've got a lot of points to make up, and it looks like you're going to do that so far. So is this more about preservation, or if you're in 2nd place with 3 laps to go, do you start thinking about the win rather than the points?
No, I'm definitely in points mode here. I think I won both stages and maybe even led the most laps. So It's definitely going to be a good point stay, and I don't want to screw that up by wrecking myself here going for the win and finishing last.
We asked you earlier today what your favorite chicken restaurant was, and you said Chick-fil-A, so we'll dive deeper into that. Probably the second most important question anyone can ask you today. Cody Pennell, what is your favorite sauce at Chick-fil-A?
Oh, I've got to go with the Chick-fil-A sauce. It's tried and true. Everybody's going to say that, but it's the best sauce they have.
You know what? So far we've had, I think, 3 or 4 drivers say Chick-fil-A, so they probably agree with you, man. But we'll let you concentrate for the restart. We'll keep talking about chicken on the broadcast side. Best of luck, Cody.
I appreciate it, Rick.
We appreciate you, Cody. Georgia's Cody Pennell starting on the outside of row number 2. Trey Kirk in the number 24, Rainbow Warriors Chevrolet was inside. Once again, if you've just joined us from Atlanta Racing's Raid, I'm Rick James, bringing you the last 17 laps of Monday Night Lightning from the Nashville SuperSpeedway. The Roberts brothers, Daniel and Samuel, starting side by side, locking out row number 1 with their Fords. Trey Kirk, one of 2 Chevrolets in the top 5, waiting for the signal from the flagman. Cars accelerate, green flag is out, and we're racing at Nashville again. Tries to jump to the lead, now to the inside. Will he clear the 30 car for first? He does. The 24 of Trey Kirk just to the inside of Dan Roberts. This for the lead, coming to 16 laps to go in round 3. 24, 30, 28, your top 3, Chevy, Ford, Cody Pennell on those worn tires. The top 4 who did not pit still on these 13-lap-old tires. Everybody else behind him on fresh rubber. The 74 of Jeremy Brio now breaks that top 4 threshold. He's got those fresh Goodyears. '74 to the inside of car number 30. Brio on the fresh rubber, now trying to take the pulse hitter. He is the pulse hitter, and the points leader, I should say, trying to take Cody Pennell for second as he's got to the inside of Roberts in the 30. And now you can see the drivers with the worn tires starting to lament that decision, coming to 14 laps to go. All that rubber's now up to proper temperature, but will they be able to hang on? Brio in the 74 still hasn't cleared the 30. The 28 of Cody Pennell now looking to take the lead from Trey Kirk in the 24, and there's cars that are losing mad positions. Justin Williams in the 01 trying to save his race car. Donald Ray in the 14 falling off position. Honeybrink washing up the racetrack, getting into the 15 of Samuel Roberts, almost 4 wide, 3 wide now down the front straight. Samuel Roberts starting second, now kicked back to 6th, just 3 laps after the restart. There's Donald Ray. He's going around out of turn number 2. No, was that Williams? That was Justin Williams in the 01. Looks like he may have had some contact. We stay green with lucky number 13 laps to go. Cody Pennell to the front of this race, getting around Trey Kirk. Both of these drivers on 13-lap older tires than the 74 of Brio. A dozen laps to go in Nashville. Brio now to the inside of Kirk, this for second place. Brio has the shorter distance around. Kirk has the momentum and the speed, but he does not have the tires. Thomas Withers in the number 6 Ford, now looking to go to the inside of Trey Kirk for third. Brio now with Cody Pennell in his eyesights, 10 to go next time by. Brio running a faster lap by 3/100ths of a second over the 28, Cody Pennell. that last time around. Pinnell just barely faster than Brio. What does the Delta say this time? Brio to the inside, and the first time in the last 6 laps that Brio's been faster than Pinnell into turn 1. Brio now looking for the lead on those fresh tires. Pinnell trying to defend, and he hangs on to the lead. 9 to go this time. Thomas Withers now to the 3rd position, trying to get to the inside of Brio. Did Brio run it just too high? Brio just barely clearing Withers into 1. Withers has the line, has the momentum. Is this the end of Brio's good run? Is the golden grip gone from those Goodyear Eagles? 8 to go. Next time by, the 6 car slots into 3rd. Ford, Chevy, Ford as they go into 3. It's not a question of if, but when. There's the 99 of Al Simkowski. He is also out of this race, or potentially just getting his repair. Cody Pinnell still leading Brio, now in 2nd by some margin over the 6 car. The gap now between the top 2, less than 0.2 of a second, coming to 7 laps to go. Jeremy Brio going for his 3rd win in 3 races in the Monday Night Lightning Series. Pinnell, one of the quickest drivers week in and week out, but he is sitting close to the bottom in the points order. Thomas Withers in the 6 car, looking to score his first Monday Night Lightning points all season. Withers now on the outside, following the 28 of Cody Pinnell. Is it true that Fords stick together? Ford's on the outside line, Brio to the inside line. He's got Trey Kirk, a fellow Chevrolet, in 4th. Here comes Dan Roberts to the outside in 5th. The North Carolinian Dustin Painter coming into this race 20th in points. He's running 6th right now and coming to 5 laps to go. Withers and Brio side by side. This is exactly what Cody Pinnell wants to see. Withers to the outside, the number 6 Viagra Ford up into the silver medal position. He clears Brio for the spot. Trey Kirk now working on car 74 for 3rd. Withers in the 2nd spot. He's made up 15 places since the green flag flew. Now to the inside of Cody Pinnell. Pinnell leaves daylight open on the bottom lane. Withers and Brio in the 6 and 74 respectively with fresh tires. Ryan Pinnell does the clever and good thing. He does the right thing and gets out of the way. Thank you, Ryan, for that. Cody Pinnell on the outside, washing up the racetrack, coming to 3 laps to go. 1 car going around at the back. That's Daniel Roberts in the 30 car. He's gone around and the caution flag comes out as Dan Roberts goes around. There he is in that 30. Let's run this one back and see what exactly happened to this 30 car coming to 3 laps to go. Looks like it was contact with the 49 of Dustin Painter. Now on the inside, you can see the 30 of Roberts bringing it down real low onto Dustin Painter. Turning it left ever so slightly, getting a bit more left into the 49 of Painter. There, Painter makes contact just at the end of the corner, and he almost saved it. And there he goes around and slams the outside wall, and that's going to mean big repairs for Daniel Roberts. Let's run this one back and see the view from the 49 of Dustin Painter. Just turning it left as far hard as he could, washing up the track into the 30. We'll take a look one more time from the back end. We'll see how both of these drivers looked from the outside. Here's the 49, who looks like he got collected by the 20 and the 14 of Donald Ray and John Honeybrink. One more time. 49's just always washing high. That could be the tires starting to go. And here comes the 15 of Sam Roberts, just missing the 30, the 14 and the 20, collecting car 49. And Dustin Painter comes down pit road. We're going to have a green-white checkered finish to settle round 3 of Monday Night Lightning. Oh, no. Vols fan 88 says, Rick James, say a prayer for Mama Vols. Her mama just passed away. That's a shot to the heart here. Mama Vols, one of my biggest fans, and I'm a big fan of Mama Vols as well. So certainly, in this green-white checkered moment, we're going to take a little minute here. Matter of fact, thank you, Bossy Gio. He says, "Let's go Withers." He's cheering on Thomas Withers in the 6 car, in the number 3 position. But we're going to take a 60-second break here while we collect our thoughts. Sorry to hear that there's been a tragedy in the Vols family. Mama Vols, one of my biggest fans on Rick James TV, and I'm one of her biggest fans too. I love her to absolute bits. And her son Vols fan coming in the chat saying throw up some prayers. They've had a loss in the family. So we'll do just that over the next 60 seconds. We'll have a thought here, and we'll be back for the green-white checkered conclusion of round 3 of Monday Night Lightning. Back with you to end this thrilling 3rd round of Monday Night Lightning. The 28 of Cody Pennell winning stage 1 and stage 2 with that most recent caution. The 28 car of Cody Pennell hung on to the lead. He has not pitted since lap 108. It's been over 40 laps on the tires for Cody Pennell, and now the question is, will he have the fuel to go the distance as well? Thomas Withers in the 6th, Jeremy Brio in the 74, both pitting at lap 125, and their tires are only 25 laps old. Cody Pennell last pitting on lap 108. His tires too old to count, but he's got 2 laps to hang on. 2.6 miles. Green flag is out, and he gets a great jump at the front. Withers to the inside of Brio out of 2. The 6th car washing up. He has to check up to not get into the 74 of Brio. Trey Kirk close behind in 4th. Cody Pennell breaks out to a lead of 0.3 of a second, coming to the white flag at Nashville. Justin Williams washing high in the 01. He'll stay out of the way. Jeremy Brio on fresh tires, hunting down the 28 of Cody Pennell. Withers in the 6, trying to take second from the 74 of Brio. Brio trying to hunt down the 28 of Pennell, who said he is in points mode only. There's Pennell in the 28. Brio behind him in the 74. Brio's going to get one more run to the outside, but it won't be enough. It will be Georgia's Cody Pennell out of turn number 4, getting the win at Nashville Superspeedway. Wreck at the back, Samuel Roberts getting into the 24 of Trey Kirk. The 28 of Cody Pennell getting the dub, his first win of the season. Second place, Jeremy Brio. Not a bad start for him. 2 wins and a second place 3 rounds into this race. Cody Pennell winning, and it's going to be a fantastic points day for car 28. Fans at home, sit tight. We're going to get top 3 interviews in just a moment, but for now, enjoy the musical stylings of Georgia's Cody Pennell. He gets the win at Nashville. Back on the podium for the interviews here, starting with third place, Thomas Withers driving the number 6 Viagra Ford. Tom, fantastic run for you tonight. Great points day and a podium finish in Monday Night Lightning.
Thanks, Rick. It's my first game racing, or first race racing with these boys this season. It's nice to come out here, race with Cody and Jeremy and Trey and Jacket, and I think I belong here. So this is a good start, my first start here in the Cup Series.
A fantastic start, and now you go into the 4th round with a chip on your shoulder. Your first Monday Night Lightning race, and next week into Pocono. Is there any sort of tips you learned here that'll help you at the Tricky Triangle?
Patience. This was a kind of a flat track that might translate to next week, but we saw a lot of adversity, passed a lot of cars. It's nice getting some seat time with these other drivers and figuring out how they race. So that might pay off next week. Hopefully I make it there.
Congratulations on that bronze medal. We'll see you in 7 days' time at Pocono Raceway.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rick. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much. Sorry, man. Now our silver medalist, the number 74 of Jeremy Brio. 2 wins and a second place to start your first 3 races of the year. Jeremy, you're on a roll, man.
Yeah, it's I want to say I'm surprised, but I don't know. It's just weird being up front with these guys. They're class acts. They're the best of the best that I've run with so far. And Cody tonight was in another zip code along with Pressy, but he got wrecked or something. I don't know what happened with him, but it's just I'm not humbled, but it's an honor to race with these guys. It was a really good race and it was really clean.
You looked clean out there. The car looked fantastic. Hopefully the same fortune finds you in the Pocono Mountains next week. Congratulations on your second place.
All right, thanks, Rick.
And now the winner, driver of the number 28 Ford, Cody Pennell. After rough luck the first two races of the season, you come into Nashville, hit your opponent in the mouth, and you come out with a well-earned W. What was the secret to that domination, Cody?
Oh man, I don't know that I could call it domination, and this was a roller coaster race for me. I'd pretty much called it quits after that wreck on the back straightaway. And you know, Nick, he was the class of the field tonight. Not sure what happened to him there late in the going, but yeah, just a crazy race. I stayed in it, and you know, kept my nose on the grindstone, and it paid off.
Paid off in dividends. You're going to shoot up in those point standings, man, and you're going to earn some of that. You've earned some of that celebration Chick-fil-A with your Chick-fil-A sauce, man. You go on and earn that. Go on and get some of that, man. Headed next week into Pocono. What are we bringing to the table?
Pocono is not one of my best tracks. I struggle there a good bit, so I'm glad that I was able to get a little bit of positive momentum going here in Nashville, and hopefully we'll come out with another strong finish there.
Sounds good, Cody. Congratulations again on the win. We'll see you in a week.
All right, thank you, Rick.
Go, Cody!
Fans at home, that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Another chapter of Monday Night Lightning is in the books. For more info on the Alliance Racing Championship Series, head on over to racearcs.com, register, and even be a member of the next ARCS race. For Jeremy Brio, Cody Pennell, Thomas Withers, Ryan Pennell, Trey Kirk, Nick Pressey, and everybody else. Can't forget Donald Ray, obviously, everybody else that makes these broadcasts possible. Thank you so very, very much. Vols family, we're thinking about you. Vols mama, please take care. Please stay safe. Everybody, take care of each other. Stay safe